Hello and welcome to Volume 1, Episode 3 of the 2GuysTalking podcast. If you're following along with us and doing any analytics, we increased our views from Episode 1 to Episode 2 by 2 views.
Wow.
And I do believe that both of those views are me.
Yeah, probably me as well.
Did you view it more than once? On the iTunes or YouTube, not iTunes, because I can't get it on iTunes.
That's happening. That's happening soon. I think I got that cracked. Actually, I want to talk to you about that later. But
yeah, you could just talk to me about it on the podcast because
many people are listening.
Everyone's followed along so far.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is a good place for people to go back and listen to. Like, oh, hey, remember when they couldn't get their shit on iTunes?
Yeah, this will be like the golden years.
The golden years.
Yeah, the beginning.
Yeah, this will come out on a double disc.
Laser disc. Brought to you by Laserdisc.
Oh, this episode's brought to you by Laserdisc.
Yes.
We had the first one was clam chowder, then Chick-fil-A. Well, not any clam chowder, New England clam chowder, right?
Yes.
And then the second episode was brought to by our corporate masters, Mumford & Sons.
Oh, it was Mumford. I almost forgot about the Mumford & Sons. Good times.
Good times. Yeah.
Yes. Now this one's brought to you by Laserdisc.
Laserdisc.
Yeah. Still
That's good
popping
stuff.
out the great format. Well,
yeah. We're already a minute and a half in, and they're already used to our great and witty banter back and forth
yes,
about nonsense. So anyway, welcome to episode 3, soon to be hopefully on iTunes. Now just currently on YouTube, only YouTube.
The clearly superior medium
of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Because
it needs RSS feeds. I mean, we got YouTube.
Because it's easier to convert this into a WAV file and then slowly convert it into a movie using Microsoft Movie.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. But yeah, episode 3. We're stoked to be back for the third time.
It's exciting.
This is a streak, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And we almost had this really cool situation where, remember the original Spider-Man? Spider-Man 1 had 1 villain, 2 had 2 villains, 3 had 3 villains. Yeah. We almost had episode 3 have a third person. But your friend we talked about last time is a Flaky McFlakerton.
Yeah, actually, it's marital problems, I guess. I don't know, hopefully nothing too serious. But.
Mm-hmm. Well, you bought and you spent all that money on that microphone.
I know.
We tested it and it works and everything.
Yeah.
And now it sits there, not plugged in.
Hopefully we'll use it for next time.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe I fired him. Maybe I sent him a strongly worded email.
He's blackballed now.
I sent him a strongly worded email.
He'll never work in this town again.
So, that being said, we can start this podcast off as we start many podcasts off, which get to know a podcaster, right? Reveal just a little bit more about ourselves in a personal manner to you through microphones that you will hear come out of speakers on your computer and or iPhone or other device that can play things if you're on YouTube. I don't want to leave Androids out, right? Androids are things that you can use, so I don't want to leave those out. Our first question... we went heavy. We went, what's the greatest accomplishment? You said not working in the food service anymore.
Yeah,
you did a poor job.
Yeah, there's I guess I can talk about this a little bit more now that I've given it more thought. It only took me 2 weeks, but
yeah, that's it.
I guess my greatest accomplishments is I used to be really deep into alcohol, not so much the alcohol, but more so drugs and stuff. Which, again, I can't state that I'm not proud of that at all, but. It happened.
Yeah, but drugs and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't do that anymore. I'm very relaxed.
That's good.
Just the occasional, peyote trip.
Yeah, right, which is anybody.
Anyone here in South Central Pennsylvania just knows about it.
Anybody, a good peyote trip. You just need one or two.
But, no, I think that's definitely an accomplishment because there's still a lot of people that can't get over that sort of vice, and I'm not saying I'm stronger than them by any means.
You are implying it,
huh?
You are implying it.
No, because I just replaced it with fast food and sadness basically. But yeah, I think that's a major accomplishment because it definitely could have dragged me down a lot more than it did.
Yeah, heck yeah, it is, man.
I don't know. And I think just I don't have a degree, but I'm going back to school, and I'm I'm doing mostly okay for myself, so I'm
Right.
happy with that.
Trying to get yourself to be a viable member of society.
Yeah, productive.
Right,
You know,
a productive, viable member of
Shit like
society
that,
that's
yeah.
worthwhile.
Also a Pokemon master right now. So.
Pokemon Master,
Yeah.
which we'll get into a little bit later, I guess.
Yeah.
That's something you want to talk about a
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
know, we can touch on it. I don't
We
really-
will. We will. And then the second question was, if you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 things would you bring? And I gave the greatest answer ever about a boat and a boat captain.
Yeah,
And gas,
yeah. You know, I do
Which
remember
was-
that.
which was
Times.
perfect. Which
Yeah.
was perfect. Much like many things I do, perfection.
Yes.
This time, I don't really have a question prepared. I guess I can just shoot from the hip, unless you got one that maybe you think people want to know about. You know, what do you ever think to yourself when you see somebody? Boy, I wish I knew this about them.
You know, actually, I do have a question. I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Have your views of the world, and you know, that could be like politics,
Mhm.
stuff like that, have they changed from when you were like, let's say, like in high school to where you are now?
I would say that not every. I wouldn't say my political views have changed that much. I'd say I became a little bit more informed. So I think my political views have altered, but I don't think they've changed that much. I think my views on. I'd tell you what my views definitely changed on when I was in high school. I was obsessed with fake versus real. I was absolutely obsessed with who's fake and who's real and why that's important. And I was absolutely like hard pressed to find out why. Like I was big into this person's fake, so I can't be their friend, or this person's, you know, this is you know, they're fake and I'm real, or this person's fake, or that whatever. So I was absolutely obsessed with that stuff.
I think there's a lot of rap songs out about that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I will tell you that what I grew into, what I realized as I got older, is that being fake and being real are pretty much the same thing. Like you can be, for instance, right now, I will tell you that I wear many masks. You know, the same person I am at where I work is not the same person I am now, nor is it the same person I am with my friends, nor is it the same person I am with maybe my family. And I'm not saying I changed drastically, like I'm a completely fake person, but there is different degrees of me. And I used to call that type of person and be like, oh, they're fake. That's a fake person. I don't want to hang out with them. And I realized as I got older, like a level of that, of being quote unquote fake, is kind of what you have to do. As long as, if you're wearing multiple masks, as long as the through line through everything is the same person,
Yeah.
same basic person, same basic ethics.
I mean, as long as you're not like shaking the foundation of your soul, I think that you know, that's kind of
Right.
the important thing.
Right. And I think I found that out later in life. Like what I originally, when I was, a lot of the stuff I thought of and said was, you know, you have to be the same person all the time. So like, I was one of those people, like, if I think it, you have to hear it. Like I'm not,
Yeah.
you have to hear it because.
So you were like no holds bar,
Right.
like all the fucking time.
Right. And you know, there's still times where, you know, my wife is a great example. She will check me of like, just because you think it's okay to say doesn't mean it's okay to say. Just because you think it doesn't mean you can say it. Just because you know you're right doesn't mean you can say anything. You know, sometimes you got to keep that shit inside a little bit.
Yeah.
And be an adult about it.
Yeah. I mean, I
And-
think that's a lot of maturity, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, it's a process.
Right. So I mean, I'd say views. I mean, that's the only view that's changed. I mean, that's a pretty big view. That's, you know, a large majority of who you are, I think.
Yeah.
You know, how you act. What do you, I mean, would you say that you think your views changed? Like you were a staunch Republican, conservative. You need your guns. You got to have a semi-automatic rifle at your side all
No,
times.
I didn't really. You know, I went through an identity crisis. I think I basically just kind of was going off of like what, like, you know, I mean, I still respect my dad. Don't get me wrong, regardless of our political differences. But you know, I basically just went with whatever he said. I went with whatever, you know, my family was telling me essentially.
Yeah.
And I had no fucking clue about like any of it. So it was hard for me to form an opinion on a lot of. Well, it wasn't hard. I just didn't go out of my way to do it, just because I was busy being stupid. You know, I think as I kind of like got more exposed to things, I kind of thought about more things, and you know, I realized that I was maybe a little bit more, you know, I sided with a lot of left. You know, I just went more left on a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah. So you were saying your parents your family raised you more of like right conservative.
Yeah,
You know, gun wielding, flag toting, American with a cross hanging off their neck.
I mean, not.
I'm painting your family in a horrible light. That's fantastic.
No, that's okay.
I don't even know him. I'm such a dick.
No,
Jesus.
you're fine. It's just it's not so much. It was like the, kind of like upper middle class Republican type thing.
Sure.
And then that's more so like, I mean, for instance, like my mom, the only thing she cares about is abortion. So like, that's if Democrats were pro life, then she would totally be one.
Oh, okay. So she's got she's a one issue voter.
That is it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I see what you're saying.
Whereas my dad, he's a dyed in the wool true Republican. Ronald Reagan was my world hero. I mean, that's
Hey, Ronald Reagan was a lot of people's world hero. My brother loves Ronald Reagan, and he's like a middle of the road conservative. I would call him moderate conservative.
Yeah,
because he's okay with gay marriage, and honestly, I don't know my brother's views on abortion. I wouldn't want to guess, but I know my brother's okay with gay marriage because he said many times to me, "Good, let's tax the crap out of those idiots. they want to get married and not enjoy tax breaks anymore."
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Fine.
And it's not like, and I've said this before, I don't know if I've said it on this podcast or not, but like in an ideal world, if everything was perfect and everyone held hands and sang Kumbaya together, I would totally be a libertarian, no questions asked. Yeah.
You and Gary Johnson legalizing every drug.
Have
every drug.
All the drugs.
All the drugs are fine.
But no, I mean, the fact of the matter is not. I mean, there's shitty, greedy fucking people out there who just want to take, every opportunity to repeatedly, fuck us all over for money.
Power is alluring.
It is. It absolutely is. And
have you ever had power?
No, but I want the fuck out of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so once you get it, you're like, boy, I got power.
And I can't say like, if someone was like, hey, you want to be a fucking Wall Street billionaire, I'd be like, hell yeah, I would.
Yeah. Well, I hope nobody would say no to that. I would hope nobody would be like, oh no, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
in money.
I'm okay on that.
Just take that money back.
Let's do a resource-based economy.
Right. I'm not interested.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's kind of like my worldview change. I mean, it changed a lot on like guns.
Is there anything that made you? Is there any like
any defining moment
to like a swivel, like a pin, like a this is the turn?
There's 2 points I can think of. I mean, I guess there was. I was having it was the first time was when I got in my first like real like political argument with someone who wasn't like agreeing with me for the most part.
Okay.
And they awakened me to a lot of like things I didn't think about, like, and I kind of like contradicted myself a whole bunch, and I realized I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
I stand for this ideal and this ideal and this ideal, but I don't know really like what any of them actually mean for people in general.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of did some more research, and I thought like, oh, you know what, maybe I. Actually, it's funny. I actually just thought of one thing. We had to write this paper in for I think it was like world government or like economy in high school.
Yeah.
And it was like of your ideal government and like how would you run it? Blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, well, I'd be libertarian. But then all the things I listed were like damn near like communist type ideas.
Communist nonsense.
So like I was
communist riffraff.
Yeah, I mean it was largely socialist if memory serves. And the teacher kind of called me out on. She's like, yeah, well, like that doesn't really work. I mean, she was kind of a bitch, but
she was a fresh baked bitch.
I digress.
Last week we talked about how much you love Mr. Wrestler.
Who?
There was somebody that said they were going to be running for the Bull Moose Party.
Oh, that was
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago.
Fine.
Mr.
Risser. Yeah, he was cool.
And I said that he was high on crack.
I mean, I don't.
So he couldn't listen to it because he's too cracked out of his mind.
He's probably has much better things to do than listen to the podcast by.
Because crack.
Someone he probably didn't like that much.
Crack related things. And now we skip a week talking about high school teachers And now we're back to Jesse doesn't like a certain one. You're going to call this one out by name, or you're going to leave that go?
No, I'll leave it go.
Oh, you're leaving it go.
Yeah,
You're going to be the bigger man?
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean,
that doesn't sound like you. I don't like it. Don't be the bigger man, Jesse.
Huh? No, I mean, it's easier for me to name the ones I liked than the ones I didn't like because my high school career was kind of fucked. And I mean, that largely in part was a good bit of my fault, but like...
Most of it was my fault, right?
There was a lot of like... And I'll still stand by my guns to this day. There was a lot of like immaturity. There was like a clique of teachers at my high school.
Oh, okay.
And they kind of like picked on
cool
me.
Kids.
Yeah, kind of. It was
they
weird.
They picked on you? Why would they pick on you? Why would they pick on
well,
a child?
okay, so like I did the weather.
Yeah.
For school.
Yeah, over the loudspeaker.
Well, we had like a video system,
oh,
so I did
snap.
like green screen and shit.
From how old were you?
I was probably
senior, junior,
16, 17.
Junior. So you're saying junior?
It was it was my junior and senior years when I did it.
So you'd be like, there's a low pressure front moving in over the Grand Tetons, coming into Lake Titicaca.
It was kind of like an entertaining thing. Like I would just basically like write stupid jokes and stuff like that. Like if there was like a lot of red, I'd be like, "There's a lot of lava down here." It was just stupid. It was stupid stuff that I came up with. When I was 17.
Funny. Any lava joke, that's a good joke. Lava-based jokes.
It really had barely anything to do with the weather, and more so just me being entertaining to everyone.
Yeah.
But I was okay with that because I desperately needed validation from my peers.
Sure. I mean, who doesn't when they're in high school, right?
No, yeah, exactly.
I mean, we obviously both still do, hence this podcast.
I am a huge egomaniac, and I still require that. Anyway, I digress. But, yeah, apparently she would, make fun of me while I was on the announcements.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this one teacher that I...
How did you find out about it?
Was one of the people that had homeroom with her and told me.
Yeah?
And she was like, hey, I don't know why, because I never had a class with her, ever. Oh, yeah? She just would make fun of me all the time.
She was just a bitch.
Yeah, but kinda, yeah. But she was actually, this super, hardcore,
bitch.
Yeah, bitch. But she was also super liberal, and, she was all about, Hillary Clinton 08. I remember that. But, yeah, she just, and I think that, I associated liberals with her for, the longest time.
Okay.
So I think that,
skewed your vision?
Yeah, that definitely skewed my vision as well.
That makes sense.
So then I got out of high school, I realized none of it doesn't fucking matter. She makes, $50,000 a year, so.
Yeah. She's a garbage person.
Huh?
She's a garbage person.
I mean...
Garbage people. They exist.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, they do. Garbage people exist.
I know they do.
Don't argue with me. Garbage people exist. I see them every day. Every day I see a garbage person. I think that's part of my job somehow is to see garbage people. This is my job description. So you were, just off topic, you were talking about telling jokes. Did you do the thing Monday?
I did not.
You didn't? You didn't? So again, anybody that went to this thing,
yeah, both of your clones went, right?
Yet again, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody went the first time we were talking about this, they went when it wasn't even being had, and then the second time they went, and it did happen, right?
Yeah, I meant to have the discussion with you not to mention it this time because I look like a jackass, but I'll take it.
Well, you're not going to go again?
Oh no, I'm definitely going to go. It's just it was one of those things I really wanted to go, and then I don't know, I had to deal with some stuff at home, and it was just a pain in the ass.
Oh, so you pretended stuff was hard.
Hmm?
You pretended you couldn't get there, and stuff was too difficult for you to do.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah? You made an excuse for yourself.
Yeah, because I'm never going to achieve anything.
This is my pep talk to you. All right.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to wallow in self-pity for the rest of your life, or do you want to, for once, stand up, take the bull by the balls, right? Grab some mountain oysters thick in your palm, and go hard, go ham on a stage in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And start with a rape joke and end with a rape joke.
Hey guys, my set's gonna be all about rape. So
strap in and or leave.
On in.
If you're sensitive to that kind of thing, you might want to leave.
So yeah, I mean,
you could have your catchphrase could be "It's okay, I was raped."
Yeah, no, I don't think that really makes it any better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, so I read this thing on online about because I was reading about stand up and where to kind of start if you want to do that sort of thing. And it was you have to live at least 30 minutes away from a full-time comedy club, and if you won't move to live 30 minutes away from a full-time comedy club, then you're not serious about stand up. And I feel that's a really tough thing to put on someone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the people who are very serious about stand-up are going to do that. I mean, if you're just dipping your toe in the water, you want to see what it's like, you want to get back into
I want to be super famous.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, of course, everybody wants to be super famous. I want to be super famous for doing this podcast and/or writing a book. You don't see me writing a book, and you don't see this podcast getting more than 7 views on YouTube.
Listen, one of these days it will. Okay, trust me, it's happening.
People will come back to these and view them and be like, "Oh man, remember when they just had still pictures that they go through, and Tim Allen would pop up every now and then."
Good times. Good times.
So anyway,
so that kind of discouraged me, though. I mean, like, I guess, like, it makes sense, but, like, I don't know. I'm just not quite willing to.
Don't listen to what you read online, Jesse.
Yeah,
Most of those people are garbage people.
Well, it was like a famous
Second mention of
comedian
garbage
type
people.
person. So
He's
like,
a garbage person.
He's a garbage person.
Who is it? Who was it?
I don't remember. Stephen Hofstetter.
There you go, garbage person.
Okay, it's actually pretty funny.
If you don't know his name, he's a garbage person.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, fuck him. By the way, I listened to Mark Maron's podcast.
Yeah.
Kind of. Have you ever listened to it?
Yeah, I love it. But
do you?
Yeah.
Maybe I have to like. So he was talking like Adam Goldberg, and I have really close to no idea who Adam Goldberg is.
Uh-huh.
And I guess I just wasn't that interested in anything they were talking about at all. So
well, you don't need to know
that's-
who Adam Goldberg is to appreciate Mark Maron's self-deprecating, funny humor. You know?
I guess he spent like 12 minutes like talking about like because he has a show on IFC, right?
Right.
And I guess the last episode of like the series now is either already aired or aired this week or something like that.
Some kind of bullshit.
He basically just talked about like how like it was okay for him to stop making the show, which it is okay for him to stop making the show, and I do agree with him. But he like harped on it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's because he's probably got people that are like, you know, the fans and the people are like, why are you stopping? And
yeah, I guess
you know,
you're probably
like
right.
it's not that hard to do a show. You're a bitch, you know, stuff like that.
People are fucking ridiculous.
Well, people are always going to say that because they see the fame and they think everything they're doing to achieve the fame and achieve the glory is easy. Yeah. Like all you see of these people's lives, sports athletes are the easiest targets. Like tonight's the ESPYs, right? On ESPN.
Oh yeah, isn't John Cena?
John Cena's hosting, yes. Yeah, yeah, John Cena. That YouTube clip, by the way, of the prank call with the John Cena thing.
Yeah, I just listened to that today. Actually,
is one of the funniest things.
Yeah, it's great.
The one I love the best
is
when
Champ
like,
there?
Do you not support the troops? I'm sorry. And she's like, oh my God, yes, I support the troops. And then they talk about a former Marine and whatever. Yeah. It's like his name is John Cena. And yeah, it's just funny the stuff they say. It's good. If you have a chance, and you're listening, one of the 7 people, and I'm going to downgrade that to 4, 4 people that aren't you or me, that are listening to this, and you haven't gone on and saw the John Cena clip prank call. Just type in a YouTube John Cena prank call, and it's like 5 minutes. It's not that long. Yeah, 4.5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's not. It's worth that 4 minutes.
Oh, easily.
It's easily worth the 4 minutes. So no stand up for you again. That's too bad.
I'm gonna lose. I lose all my demerits.
All demerits. You wouldn't lose demerits. You would gain all the demerits. You would gain all of them. If you would stop looking at your phone for 2 seconds, maybe we'll get into Pokemon Go right now, right off of that, right? Because people are looking at their phone.
I'm trying to catch it.
To try to catch them all.
Listen,
you gotta catch them all.
Now, did you grow up with the Pokemon?
I did. Well, you know what? I want to say I did. But I also want to say, like, I also feel like I might have been on the cusp of being too old for it. Yeah. But I'll be damned if I didn't have a Game Boy Color and I didn't have Pokemon. I believe I was into Pokemon Pearl. Because my legendary Pokemon I was getting was...
Dialga.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Oh, shit.
Are you playing it right now?
There's a bunch of, like, I don't know if you know what Execute is, but there's one, like, oh, it's gone. It's gone. It's fucked. We'll do it live.
An Execute?
Yes.
So
it's basically a group of sentient broken eggs. It's great.
So it tells you what Pokemon are around, and you have to go find them.
Yeah, basically.
So you gotta like wander around aimlessly. I haven't done it yet. I haven't played Pokemon Go.
It's I think
explain it to me and
all the listeners,
the people, the listeners that
at home
have more like time with their lives to do other things. Right? They don't have the time to play Pokemon Go.
Okay, listen. So So Pokemon Go, it's kind of like a geocaching game, in the same vein as Ingress, which is maybe it's made by the same company, but very popular. Basically, you can go around to different spots, and you look on your phone, and there can be like a Pokemon there, and you can catch it, and it's cool because you can do like turn on this like augmented reality, where like if you look at your phone, it'll show you like the Pokemon like is on the couch or some shit like that, and you can throw the Pokeball at it.
Yeah.
And then, basically, there's also these Pokestops you can go to, which are like, they're all like churches for some reason. And like you don't have to like go inside the church, but like if you go to like the sign of the church, you can spin it and you can get stuff. There's like memorials and like random like there's one near Christina.
Memorial for a Pokemon?
No, just like
here lies a dead Pokemon.
No. Listen. You're not listening.
Here lies a Pokemon murdered by its trainer.
Sean Bolton.
What were you saying?
Anyway,
Some memorials, explain those to me.
So like,
keep going. Don't just quit because I'm making fun of you.
There's this park near Christina's house that has like a bunch of like trees that are like dedicated to people who are either alive or dead. I don't know. And like they're all like Pokestops, and you can go to them and spin a little thing. You can get like items and shit like that.
Pokestop.
You get like Pokeballs, which you need, or else you have to buy them with real money.
Oh,
that kind of sucks, as you can imagine.
Gotcha.
And stuff like that. And then like there's gyms too, which are just like kind of like random barns and stuff like just kind of like random like memorial type things. And you can like put Pokemon there and fight them with your Pokemon that you find and level up and shit like that.
So you actually can fight the Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
All right. I've seen clips, like not clips, screenshots. What's Stardust?
Okay, so that's like how you power it up. So like in the traditional Pokemon games, you leveled up, like it was like level 1 through whatever.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Is that somebody telling you right now that they called it Pokemons?
Probably, yeah. But it's okay.
I call it 4 Pokemons today.
I call it 6 Pokemons. Anyway. And so, but like with this, each Pokemon has like a CP or combat power, and you use Stardust to get that up, basically.
Okay.
And then obviously the more it has, the more powerful it is.
Right, sure. Riveting.
Yes.
Riveting stuff.
It's pretty fun.
I honestly don't get it. I was around, and maybe a little bit too old to be in the Pokemon stuff, but I watched the show. I had some of the games, like the Game Boy Color game that I defeated. Which this was the thing that pissed me off the most. Mm-hmm. When you start the game, you get to pick one of 3 Pokemons, and it's always like a fire, a grass, or a
water.
rock, or a water. I'm sorry, not a rock, or a water type. And when I started, I picked the Fire Weasel one. That was the game I was playing, where the Fire Weasel was one of the things. It wasn't the originil, where you can do Charmander.
Are you sure it was a weasel? Yeah,
it ended up being it started out as like Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil, okay.
And then it slowly turned into what I named it as Fire Weasel. Yeah. And because my Fire Weasel was used so often and was straight murdering people, after I got the mythical, because I spent time hunting the mythical one, thinking to myself, I'll get the mythical one, and then I'll have a pack of 6 Pokemons, one of which is a badass Fire Weasel, one of which is a mythical thing, and then I can't lose. Like, I'll go up against anybody.
See, only 12-year-olds use the mythical ones.
I'll end up taking dumps on people, right?
Yeah.
You can make fun of me as much as you want. I was using that mythical thing.
I mean, that's fine.
So I go to get this mythical creature, and it is so hard to get him, right?
Yeah.
He is super hard to beat, super hard to catch. Won't get in the whatever. And then I have to go through like almost all my Pokemons.
Did you cry?
To get him. I do end up getting him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after I get him, when I'm going to these other gyms, my Fire Weasel has become so badass that Fire Weasel throws one like fireball at somebody and murders half the Pokemon on the other person's team without taking a single hit of damage.
Yeah.
Right? And so I never have to bring the mythical thing out. Like, there was 2 different times I brought it out just to bring it out to win with it.
And that's one way of doing it, where you just have this fucking fuck all like one starter master race type person.
Yeah, well, that's what I had. Fire,
and that's
the Aryan Fire Weasel.
It's funny because like I'd have like Like, I always started with Bulbasaur, right? In
The
the
grass
original
type.
games, yeah.
So that would have been in the other game.
Like in the first ones. Like
Yeah, what I'm saying in my game, what would that have been? It was
Chikorita.
Chikorita, that's what it was.
That one sucked. I didn't start with it.
Yeah.
But,
And then what was the water one? It was
Totodile.
Totodile.
Yeah.
What was the one in the original one?
Squirtle.
It was Squirtle. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway. So, when I was younger, I just would have like this like fucking level 100 Venusaur,
Yeah.
which is the most powerful form of Bulbasaur. And
Right.
then I have like these like level 20 random ones I just like caught that I thought were cool, but like I never used them because I
Right.
would just...
Because you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because once my Fire Weasel got to a point where it was unbeatable, I was like, man, I wasted all this time getting this stupid mythical creature, and I don't even use him.
Yeah.
Because I don't need him, because my
So-
Fire Weasel is effectively, like, I should be the mythical Pokemon, because I got this fucking Fire Weasel that loves me, because I've had it
Yeah.
since day one, and I'm murdering people with him.
Yeah,
I'm like, Fire Weasel, destroy that thing.
just kill it. They're only supposed to make it faint. No, just kill it.
Fire Weasel, murder.
Use murder.
Fire Weasel, use murder.
Pokemon's now dead.
So like, I'm sure that there's creatures that are difficult to catch and creatures that are easy to catch.
Yeah, yeah.
I have heard that there's the caterpillar one is apparently everywhere.
Yeah, Weedle. He's fucking...
In
a
Pokemon Go?
He's a menace on society.
Okay, and then what are Snorlax is apparently hard to catch.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. He's like one of my favorites too.
Snorlax.
Yeah, he's great.
Snorlax is uncatchable.
He's not uncatchable. He's just very like I've seen one.
He's very private.
Yeah.
He's very private
Yeah,
Pokemon.
he likes his
His me time.
yeah.
Huh,
Stays
that's
in the
nice.
house most of the time.
Yeah, that's good. So, Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell because we had talked a little bit before we started this, and you have a thing you want to go into off of this, and I kind of want to go on a side story that I experienced recently. I was at Wise Markets getting my popcorn chicken for my lunch because popcorn chicken is the way to go at lunchtime, right? Get a little honey mustard.
Definitely.
Baloo wants to add his 2 cents to this Pokemon Go.
He's really upset.
He's upset. He's like, I'm a real thing.
I'm a real animal
I'm
thing.
a real animal thing that murders.
That murders.
That murders
little
for a living.
small bunnies.
Small bunnies. But like, so I was walking through Wise, and I come across 2 older women talking to each other. One appears to be a Wise Market worker, and one appears to be a slack-jawed yokel. But they both could have been slack-jawed yokels for all I know.
Yeah, most likely.
Most likely, even
This
if
is
they both
Wise.
work there. And the one that works at Wise was saying something along the lines of, and I can't quote it exactly because I don't remember, but something along the lines of, she had seen that Pokemon Go has done more to fight obesity in children than that stupid Michelle Obama has done in the 6 years she's been in office.
I mean, she probably got that from a meme on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing for me is a couple things. One, I know she said stupid Michelle Obama, and how do you know she's stupid? She seems very smart. And 2, you're the dumb one because it's been 8 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Pokemon Go is good. I mean, I walked around for 2 hours the other night, and I totally would not have under normal circumstances. So, like, yay. I mean, if you already go outside, then awesome. Like, that's cool. But, like, there are people who do not go outside, and now they are going outside because of the game. So I think that's a good thing. I mean, there are fucking idiots, obviously, who are playing while driving and causing accidents and going into people's yards at 2 o'clock in the morning. And, those people should probably be called. But
Are they really going into people's yards at 2 o'clock in the morning?
yeah, I'll tell you a funny story, actually. My aunt called the cops the other night because she heard someone say it's outside. I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Yeah.
And she called the cops, obviously, because what the fuck?
Right, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
And the cops came. These guys were sitting, like, out, like, kind of like on the curb, essentially, like in a car.
Yeah.
And the cop came out and was like, I got a call because someone said they were going to fucking kill themselves. And I guess this guy was just trying to catch, like, a Squirtle or something like that. Couldn't catch it.
That's the saddest thing.
Yeah, like that's real sad, and that's fucking stupid. Like, you shouldn't be out in a residential area saying I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I wonder how
2
many
o'clock in the morning.
police calls have been started.
Probably a good bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean that is part of the conspiracy theory, right? They're controlling us and cops need to come and watch and figure out where we are.
It's
They can geo-map us now.
Yeah, I mean,
We're all being watched, Jesse. Every moment of the day.
yes, yeah. It's fucking stupid, and I see stupid things on like social media, mostly Facebook, about you guys are all fucking sheep because Pokemon Go is using, you have to authenticate with Google, and now, all your information's Google has, and who does Google work for? The government, and the government's gonna take all your shit and fucking sell it to Japan. And
aren't they already? You're already hooked up with
the
Google.
The fact of the matter is, if the government wants to know like where you are, 99.9% of the time they're gonna figure the fuck out.
Right.
Like you're first of all, the people who I see this are posting on goddamn Facebook for the first, like you're already on social media, like
Right.
you're not making it, like
You're not off the grid.
yeah, you're not like a fucking like off the grid.
You're not a ghost.
Like, I feel like if you're gonna go full conspiracy theorist, then you
Full
need
nut.
to get a cabin in the middle of the woods.
You're saying they have to embrace the crazy as much as possible. So
Otherwise, it's just
you
annoying.
like your conspiracy theorists as crazy as possible.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is exactly what I'm saying.
So if they're any kind of like normal, you're
Like
like
the guy
no,
from Independence Day,
Yeah.
Brent Spiner or whatever.
So you needed that kind of crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
just
kind of crazy. You
because like
demand.
because why like don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Don't fucking
Don't half-ass it.
yeah. Don't fucking half-ass.
Don't
being
give me-
a
don't
fucking
give me half of
conspiracy
it.
nut job.
Go full conspiracy crazy.
Because it's egotistical. It's like, oh, I'm so much fucking smarter than you because I don't believe in vaccinations and shit.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to believe they're smarter than everybody else, though, Jesse. That's part of life. You can't, I mean, like a great example is the person you just talked about who's going to kill themselves over not getting a Squirtle. Nobody wants to believe they're as dumb as that guy, right? Nobody wants to say to themselves, "Oh, I have equal intelligence and equal ability to achieve things as a man who's going to murder himself over not being able to catch a mythical fake creature upon a cellular phone."
I mean, I believe he was speaking, metaphorically. I don't think he was actually going to fucking kill himself.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's like you don't want to believe you're the same as that guy. You don't want to believe that you would say, "I'm going to kill myself," even metaphorically, over a Squirtle.
I mean, I'm not saying that guy's like a shit person. He's stupid.
I am.
He shouldn't be doing that at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I will tell you that I believe that is a garbage person we're talking about.
All right. Well, yeah, that's your opinion.
That's just like your opinion, man.
That's just like your opinion, man. Anyway, but it's just, people freak the fuck out about goddamn everything. And my whole opinion on it is like, if the government really wants all that information on you, they probably have it.
They're probably going to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or they can get it. I mean, Edward Snowden blew the whistle on a lot of the shit the NSA was doing.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they can get it. You have to pick your battles about what you're concerned about. I mean, honestly, I don't really care how much information they have on me. But I guess that's just me.
Yeah,
you know?
neither do I. And it's one of those things like, I don't like, I don't fucking do anything that, oh, you went to fucking Wendy's 6 times this week. What a fucking loser. Like,
that reminds me of the Jim Gaffigan joke, which I always laugh at because I've done it many times in my life for real.
What?
Where he's like, I don't think about, really important things. Like some of the stuff I think about when I'm sitting up at night at home is like, did I go to Wendy's twice today? And I've done that. I've been to Wendy's twice in one day. And the second time I go to Wendy's, I always think to myself, have I been Wendy's twice today? Mm-hmm. Yes, I have. Give me the Baconator. Give it to me.
Give me all the bacon. Actually, that's what I just ate. But
Baconator?
Yeah.
Or did you go son of Baconator?
No, I went full balls out Baconator.
Full Baconator?
Yeah.
You're going to have to dump. Real solid dump.
I'm prepared for that.
The nice thing about a Baconator is because it's mainly like cheese and mayo and greasy bacon and greasy burger, that all coagulates into just a solid brick of poop.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as bad as like I can't eat like at Five Guys anymore.
You know what? How about this
I
information?
shit my brains out.
Are you ready for this? You ready to get your mind blown?
Bracing.
I've never, ever, ever, ever eaten at Five Guys ever in my entire life.
Not
ever.
once.
Not once ever.
I mean, don't get me. It's delicious.
Yeah.
But like, you're gonna shit. It's gonna happen.
Like I'm not eating there because I don't like it. I'm not eating there because I just never have.
Okay, well, that's fair.
I have no reason. I just haven't ever done it.
It's not good enough. There was a time when I'd say, "Oh, you gotta fucking do it," because I went through like I love Five Guys everything phase. But
that was like the back in the day when everybody was MR Ducks, Mr. Ducks. The MR. Remember the MR Duck shirts?
no.
You're looking at me like I'm too old. You're too young
God.
to remember this.
Oh God.
MR Ducks, MR not Ducks. It was a weird thing. I can't explain it.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
In the encyclopedia.
Britannica.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, because you just have
Or whatever
shelves.
form of information you old people use.
Shelves and shelves of books. Jesse,
Yes.
big, thick books. The
Mahogany.
room smells of rich mahogany.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Like the vaccination thing really just fucking pisses me off too, because like, do you want whooping cough? Like, that's how you get whooping cough.
I mean, the vaccination thing is ridiculous in and of itself. I mean, it's not just conspiracy theorists. I think well, I guess yes, it is.
I
But
mean,
it's not just
largely
conspiracy theorists. It's I guess this is a bad example of saying Donald Trump's not a conspiracy theorist because I assume he actually might be. But him and people that follow him. What's that?
Let me tell you something about conspiracies. I know all the good conspiracies.
I know all the good ones. I know the best conspiracies.
I have friends they're conspiracies themselves. And
Yeah, I don't understand how people don't see through him. It's very confusing to me because people will say he says what he wants to say, but he also just says the same thing over and over again. He always said, like, every time, if you sit and listen to Donald Trump long enough, he will say like a couple of things that he will always say, right? He always knows the best something, right?
Yeah.
So if he's talking about economy, like he knows the best and brightest economists, right? Who have all praised him specifically for his specific plan that he will never specifically tell you, right?
listen, they all tell me I have the best plan. They go up to me, they say, Donald, you have the best plan ever.
So he'll always say he knows the best people for whatever, and they all agree with him, right? He'll always say that he knows the best stuff, and he'll always say something along the lines of the people that disagree with him because they don't have their facts straight, and then he'll go directly back to he'll name somebody, some name and then he'll give you some abstract fact about some fucking award or something they've won that makes them the best ever at whatever they're doing.
That's actually a logical fallacy too. That actually, my friend would have turned me on. It's reliance on like expertise or something like that. Like that you can't like in a logical argument you can't like make that. Like it's unbased. It's illogical, I guess.
To do what?
So like
You've confused me.
I'm sorry. So like
This is why you're so good at winning arguments with everybody. You
Yes,
just
I
confuse
just
them and they
confuse,
go.
walk away.
That's enough.
Drop mic, walk away. But so like I was getting into the argument about whether or not there's like intelligent life on other planets.
Yeah.
And
You would think. I mean, I would. If we want to go off on this tangent a little bit, I would tell you that
let's rein it in because
the likelihood of there being intelligent life on other planets is somewhat high. To me, just because I would say that
I 100% agree with you.
there's multiple universes in multiple subspaces that we haven't even close to explored yet. So I would have to assume like if we're talking, there's a possibility that scientists have said, and I've read it places and seen it places that even William deGrasse Tyson, right, that there's millions upon millions of planets. The likelihood of there being one planet out of these millions of planets that has intelligent life on it, which is us, is gotta be almost no percent.
Yeah. I agree with you, and a lot of brilliant fucking minds also agree with you. But the person who I was arguing thought the opposite.
That there's no way. Like, so what's the opposite? They're
So
saying there's
basically-
no way there's no possible way.
He was arguing that the chances, he was saying that, the reason why there's life here on Earth was that, the circumstances here were so perfect that the Big Bang happened and
Right.
blah, blah, here we
Sure.
are, bang. He was saying that the chances of that being so perfect anywhere else, even in the vast universe, is super duper low. And even if it did happen,
Right.
the chance, it all just came out it was all an argument about fucking Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, I mean, like alien movies, like, you know, there could be a grain of truth in that. Like, we could get invaded by aliens, because I kind of believe that in a sense. And he was like, no, you can't. And then it revolved into this whole
I'm not
intelligent
saying
life
that like
thing.
there's aliens that are up in spaceships that are come down
Hey,
here
I'm
every
not
other day or something like that.
And I'm not even saying that either. I was just like saying there's at least, and probably in the fucking huge ass universe that we have, there's probably some sort of intelligent life.
Yeah, I mean I think he makes a good point though about the Big Bang, because you know scientists say, and the same scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson has said this before, that you know the everything had to be just right. There was a lot of things that had to go just right for it to happen. So that means that there had to be a bunch of times where it went wrong, just barely wrong. So that means there's a bunch of planets that don't have any life on it, which I don't disagree with you. But my thought process is, if that's true, then that means, like, because in my head, the way I equate it to is there's been so many things that have randomly happened to me, like so many things that I've lucked into or randomly gotten.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe a woman's dumb enough to marry me. And then I can't believe a woman's dumb enough to stay with me. Like, if I lucked into something like that, or if, you know, any number of things that happen to me that just seem lucky, if that happens to me on a somewhat consistent basis, and I'm just one person in the whole world, universe, galaxy, all that jazz, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm just one person and all that stuff, the likelihood of there being some planet somewhere that has some version of intelligent life on it is probably high.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind,
it's not zero.
The person I was arguing with has absolutely no whimsy at all.
Yeah.
So, like, he's the type of person that, like, hates when, like, dogs are unleashed at parks and stuff like that. Like, you know, stick up his ass.
No whimsy?
Yes. No sense of whimsy at all.
Sir, you have no whimsy.
But
Next time, just say that to him in like the most indignant tone you can
have
find.
no whimsy,
you have
sir.
no whimsy, sir.
But I was just like, well, you know, it doesn't really matter what you think, because there's a bunch of, you know, quantum physicists that agree with me, and then that's when you inform me that apparently is a fallacy of logic.
That you can't quote other people in your.
You can, but I guess like I forget. There's a fucking term for it, and I looked it up, and it's real and all that shit. It's called like reliance on others' expertise, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's not like that doesn't make like an argument logical, essentially.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. And here's why it doesn't make any sense.
It's a filler. I don't even.
If we can't, if you can't depend on or use the knowledge or logic or, you know, experiments of other people to prove or disprove your points, then multiple things, including the theory of relativity, which Isaac Newton said he stole half of from somebody, like he used other people's research to build on, is also in itself a fallacy. So that's a stupid thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's stupid as well. I think it's also like super duper arrogant of like, in this particular case, him. But if there's likewise thinking minds, to presume that we know everything as there is to know about logic, we know everything there is to know about science, how the fucking universe works. Like, try thinking of something completely alien to you. And
aliens.
Like, aliens. But no, like, it's just like, you know, we have like, you know, you see the alien, the humanoid with gray skin and a big ass head and stuff like that. There's a possibility they could be a fucking on a completely different plane than we are.
Right. Yeah.
And like we just can't fucking fathom it.
Right.
I mean, and that's my whole thing. Like I just, you know, I think that
they're standing in this room with us right now.
I'm not saying that.
Jesus, Jesse, you blew my mind.
Oh my God! Did you hear that? Did you get that on the microphone?
That's what ghosts are. Ghosts are aliens. Shit, you've cracked it.
I did it. Go CNN. Wolf Blitzer's gonna want to hear about this one. Anyway, so we went off on a tangent.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fine. We're allowed to go off on tangents.
That's
it's
true.
our podcast. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. It went from Pokemon Go to something about fallacies and logic and why people are dicks.
But you were saying about Donald Trump, I believe.
Well, yeah, I mean, I said pretty much everything I'm going to say about Donald Trump. He's an asshole. Yeah. You know, he's like...
True.
It's just it's formulaic. What he does is formulaic, and for anybody,
well, I think that what any real politician does is formulaic.
Almost, yeah, to an extent. I mean, I won't tell you that it isn't. I mean, I guess, you know, Bernie Sanders can be seen as somewhat formulaic. Yeah. But, you know, I just feel like it's too obvious, right? Like if Okay, I'll give you an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I watch a lot of wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Professional wrestling.
Yeah. It's all real.
Even to the point.
It's real to me, man.
It's real to me, damn. It's still real to me, damn it. So even to the point of like right now, it's 8:25 p.m. On a Wednesday night, right? I know at 8 o'clock on the WWE network, which I pay for, with Anthony Booker, we share it, which I'm not supposed to say, but no one will hear this and block his account. If they do, that'd be hilarious.
That would be pretty funny. Damn you, NSA and Pokemon Go.
So yeah, they're listening. Since we said Pokemon Go, they've been listening. Before that, they missed everything. Since Pokemon Go.
See, they're using my Pokemon Go account to track my geolocation to hear everything that I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
And then to.
So what was my point? Oh, okay.
WWE Network.
So the network, which is right now, is showing an NXT thing. NXT is like another thing of like
it's not like
show,
WWE
right?
or whatever.
It is WWE. It's the same thing,
okay.
but it's like supposed to be a developmental thing. It's very complicated. Long story short, one of the people that's on it that's fighting quote unquote tonight or in a match tonight, his name is Shinsuke Nakamura. He's from Japan. He wrestled in Japan for a long time. I love him. He's amazing. I have a shirt that says the Strong Style has arrived, has his name on the back. It's amazing. He's cool as shit. He's weird. It's fantastic. Yeah. Like, I love him because he wrestles really hard and it looks like it hurts. It doesn't. Yeah. But everything he does looks like it hurts. And that's why they call it Strong Style. It looks like he's really beating the shit out of you when he might not be. Yeah. But he's so fucking, he's right up my alley because he's so weird. Yeah. Like sometimes he'll wear a crown to the ring for no reason and dance all weird. And like his idols aren't wrestlers. His idols are Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson. He's just a weirdo. It's fantastic, right? Odd. So because he's so weird, it's right up my alley. Mm-hmm. So like I like that. What was my point of bringing this up?
Formulaic politicians.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Formulaic. So, okay. So I bring all this up to say I watch a lot of wrestling. Yeah. Which means my wife, by proxy, watches a lot of wrestling. Yeah. And wrestling is absolutely formulaic. And, like, you could tell what's going to happen. Like, you can sit here and be like, oh, not only is that guy going to win, but that guy's going to win like this, or there's going to be a run-in, or this guy's going to say this, or this is going to happen. Like, it's to the point where, like, she watches a lot less than I do. But she can sit beside me exactly where you're sitting while we're watching some show, and she'll call out what's about to happen in 5 minutes, and then leave the room because
that happens, right?
She now knows what's going to happen, and it eventually happens. She never comes back in the room because she's like, boring. I know what's going to happen. But that's my point of like, it's formulaic. That's on purpose. And I guess maybe politicians are all formulaic on purpose. They're trying to give you something that you're used to, so it doesn't freak you out too much.
I mean, Bernie Sanders endorsing Hillary Clinton wasn't really a super duper surprise after they figured out he didn't have a snowball's chance in hell.
Right.
So I mean, that kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, I guess you made a good point. I guess my point was like just how formulaic Donald. You can tell what. Because he always says the same. It's always the same stuff. Yeah. You know. Yeah. It's always the same bullshit, and I just don't understand how people can be not only fooled by him, but fooled by him to the point of they're saying like, not only is he not formulaic, he's the exact opposite of it. He says what he thinks. He talks off the cuff. He doesn't need a teleprompter. Oh, yeah. He doesn't need notes. He doesn't need anything.
He's a straight talker.
He says everything he wants to say, and I don't get if it's so the same. How you don't go, oh, he said the same thing just about something else like a day ago. Just now, instead of saying he knows all the best volcanoes, now he's saying I know all the best underwater creatures, and they've all backed me for this, including Dory.
The Leviathan, he backs me up 100%. You know, he's behind me 100% in my campaign. He's donated a lot of his money.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nonsense. I don't know. It's very. I mean, I don't know. We're nowhere near where the topic was.
I mean, people are fucking stupid. I mean, it makes me very sad sometimes because.
Well, not everybody is stupid.
No, I'm not saying everyone's.
I like to think the glass is half full here, buddy.
Oh yeah, but
you're going back to your pessimistic glass half empty.
So
I gotta reel you back in. Stop being such a baby.
So I don't know. I just I get annoyed, I guess, whenever I see stuff, and it's usually online or something like that. Like, you know, I mentioned like vaccines and stuff earlier. Yeah. So like one of the people who, you know, thinks that they're super duper smart and that we're all sheep, I mean, posted this whole thing about like how he saw a baby at a restaurant that he works at, and he asked the mom if, she was vaccinating the baby, and the mom told her, or told him yes, and he told her the story about how his daughter had a seizure after she was vaccinated and stuff like that. And then, there was all this, circle jerking of, oh, my God, thank you so much for being brave and, telling that mother maybe she won't vaccinate. And there was just so many people thanking this guy who's retarded for not vaccinating
Right.
his kid.
Yeah, well, see, that's the dumbest thing about vaccinations is it's a simple argument to have with these people that think vaccinations are bad, right?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used the word retarded, but happens.
Right, yeah, I steered clear of that because that's a touchy word for me. I don't like that word.
I'm sorry.
That's one of the few words I really don't like is that word,
I
don't know
apologize.
why.
I saw you cringe.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not a fan of the R word. Anyway, back to my point. My point of why it frustrates me so much with people that don't like vaccinations is the simple argument is, okay, before we did, vaccinations for the most part and they were more commonplace, how long on average did we live? Shorter lifespans, right? I don't know the exact time, but shorter lifespans, because as time has gone on, our lifespan has increased from somewhere, in the there was a time period when an old man was 50, right? Yeah. 50 was old. Right,
yeah, you're almost out the door.
Right, and now old is 90. There's 90 and 95-year-olds I see all the time at the place I work, constantly, and they're viable, strong individuals. And yeah, maybe they might croak tomorrow, but they're not on death's door right now.
Yeah,
and that's because vaccinations have happened and medicine has come a long way. And I'm not saying every single one of those people has been vaccinated, because I got into a thing once with somebody about vaccinations. God. And the point when I made that point, they said, "Well, how do you know that person wasn't vaccinated?" Maybe they weren't, because they're 95. That was however many years ago. They were born in the 20s. They weren't vaccinating people in the 20s. And first of all, absolutely they were. Right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And secondly,
it was a thing.
And I'm not saying they were.
That's
doing
why polio wasn't happening.
I'm not saying for as much stuff as they're vaccinating people for now, but they absolutely were.
Yeah, a little bit.
And to think that he hadn't got some kind of vaccination throughout his entire life, like the flu shot, which is technically a vaccination, anything ever.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind.
I agree. One of the fallacies I kind of see with it too is, big pharma controls this, big pharma controls that, big pharma just wants you to, get sick so that you can buy their medicine. But most of the medical research that's been done is in countries that aren't where the medical industry isn't as prevalent, like the United Kingdom. They don't have nearly as much control over there that they do over here. Right. I don't think. Yeah. So I think it's just stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's simple shit.
Yeah, basically.
There's not too much you can say about it. And I see we're winding up on an hour.
Okay.
And I know we want to do the what I recommend stuff. Yes. I don't know if there was something else you put on there that you want to do at the end. That wasn't it, right? Just outro, hashtag welcome to the network. And you want to do what you want to watch, right?
I mean, if you have anything you want to
plug. Yeah. I mean, I would tell you that I was thinking about, since we did watch and listen, that we could do read.
Okay, I'm down with that. Actually,
what I recommend to read. Right. Do you have anything you want to start off with that you would recommend somebody to read?
Recommend to read. Okay, so
other than the story you're currently writing, that can be found on what website?
No website.
No website. Yeah. He's not currently publishing it. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize. I put you on the spot there.
Yeah, thanks for that.
You're welcome. You could have done it to me, because I sent you two things that I was writing, and I have all of a paragraph done. I know all the best professionals.
Anyway, but actually no. There's I don't know if are you familiar with the Wild Card series at all?
I am not. No.
It sounds pretty cool. I actually want to read them. So that's one thing. If it's basically kind of like alien virus infected a bunch of people after World War II. I think it was 1946 or something like that. Which I guess but and gave a bunch of people superpowers. And now there's aces, which are the stereotypical superheroes, kind of look like Superman.
Okay.
And then there's jokers, which they can't pass for human beings.
Okay.
It's just people there's a dog person and some guy who just exude snot 24/7.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. But it's like a bunch of like anthologies of like different kind of like short stories in the same universe, and they seem really cool. I haven't actually read any of them, but I really want to get into reading of them. George R. R. Martin was one of the people who read it, who wrote it. I apologize. But it's a bunch of like authors from New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they kind of got together and wrote all these stories, and they seem really good.
Well, where did he get the fucking time to write that? Were he supposed to be writing?
They first started coming out in like the 80s, late 80s.
He should have been writing these stories in the 80s.
I don't think he's made
these stories to be over.
I don't think he's made anything recently.
He needs to work back in time like Bran does and do his shit.
But anyway, the point I was making with the wild cards comment is that one of the authors that does write these stories, Victor Milan, really nice guy. Actually, he actually responded to me he did like a Reddit ask me anything, and he actually responded to me, which was nice.
What did you ask him?
I just asked him like what the hardest part about getting his book published was, and I just told him I was a big fan.
And he said, "Please don't talk to me and stop following me. I've issued a citation.
Please, fucking just stop, please."
I've sent people to your house multiple times.
This has to stop. No, he said I guess basically like the hardest part was he went through a lot of stuff like depression stuff.
Okay.
And it was hard for him to actually like get motivated to actually like write the book, which I can kind of empathize with to an extent.
So can George R. R. Martin. Hate that guy.
I know. I get that. You're really bashing on good old George.
You feel the rage?
Yeah, I do.
My what to read is going to be the Game of Thrones books.
The what?
Game of Thrones books. Read those books. I hate that guy.
Fuck him though. But anyway, so he wrote this. I think you actually might have. But you remember the Dinosaur Lords book I had?
Yes.
He wrote that.
Yeah.
This
Cool.
Victor guy.
Cool.
And it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. It has a lot of, it kind of combines like Game of Thrones with just fucking dinosaurs. And if you're a dinosaur person like I am, it's great. I just came out with the second book on the 5th, and I started reading that. It's pretty good.
Awesome.
So I like it. Dinosaur
Sounds good,
Knights
man.
is what
I
it's
like
called.
that. I like that. That's a good one. Anything else?
People
People should be reading? Your local newspapers?
Yeah. Keep up to date on what's going on.
Find
in the
a
world.
local newspaper and read it.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
I just got to finish reading for the second time a book called Team of Rivals. It's a actual like business book.
Oh.
It's about Abraham Lincoln. It is for like a leadership type thing.
Oh.
I read it for the third time because some of the stuff that we talked about a little bit that I'm doing in my job right now requires me to be a little bit more of a leader. So I'm pushing myself to reread these things, get myself back in the swing of it. And the Team of Rivals talks about how Abraham Lincoln surrounded himself, not so much in his, this is a little known fact, not so much in his first term, but towards the middle and end of his first term and his second term, with people that were purposefully opposed to him. So he would get
did hear that,
cabinet
actually,
members
yeah.
that like had ran against him or, like made a big stink on the Congress floor, like, I hate you. He would put them in his cabinet and be like, let's have a conversation about it. Like, you don't agree with me, so good. Let's have this out. Let's talk about it instead of having this conversation out in the middle of like Congress floor or like in the newspapers or whatever the hell you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's actually go into a room like two adults and have a conversation about it. Come to hopefully a middle ground.
Yeah.
And where can you give and where can I give and what are you really mad about? Like, what are you really being a dick about? You're just being a dick because you want to be president and you just want to like say it, shout for the mountaintop. Well, here's a position of power. So now let's actually have a conversation. Are you good? Right? And talks about how he, the tenets of how he did that stuff. And it's a very interesting read if you want to become a leader, want to learn stuff about leadership tendencies. Because one of the people I identify with as a leader is him, and not only him, but it's opposite end of the spectrum. Alexander the Great. I identify with him because he took over almost all of the world once.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
Can't be a bad leader and take over almost all of the world, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, that's a pretty safe assumption to make.
So that and the anytime you can get your hands on a Tom Clancy Ops Center type book. The Ops Center series is really good. It's, if you've seen those movies where multiple people, including Ben Affleck, now have played the character of Jack Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Jack Ryan.
Ben Affleck played Jack Ryan?
Yeah, he did in Sum of All Fears.
Oh, shit. I always forget about that.
And in those books, Jack Ryan is the main character through all those things. Ends up
Yeah.
actually at the end of it being president of the United States.
Wasn't Eric Bowen one of the Jack Ryans?
I believe so.
In
yeah.
Hunt for Red October.
I do believe that is correct. So it is. It's an interesting take on secret life.
Is he
spy
like the
shit.
American James Bond in a sense?
Jack Ryan? I mean, I guess so. If the American James Bond doesn't drink at all and is a boring family man, and it's just like he like in the movies.
I guess James Bond is far more exciting.
In the
than Jack
movies, they
Ryan.
overhype like his athletic prowess and how much he does. In the books, it's very more. Jack Ryan's very much more,
He's more of a cerebral
analytical
character.
and cerebral,
Yeah.
and he's not really like jumping over fences and tackling dogs. Like he's more along the lines of like, all right, you grunt worker ass face, you go do that. And I'm going to stay back here in the op center. Hence why it's called op center, and do all the low maintenance work. That doesn't require me to get shot at.
Sounds like a smart guy. America.
Yeah, that's why he got elected president.
Yeah.
America.
America.
All right, so we're at an hour and 5 minutes. So right around again, we're sticking to the.
It was the last one was like an hour and 32 or something like that.
No, the last one was an hour 5 minutes as well.
Are you sure?
An hour and 6. Yeah, it wasn't that much longer. You're gonna look it up on your phone right now and try to prove me
am.
wrong.
Yeah.
Good luck. First of all, you're not gonna find it because I've hidden it.
Oh, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, unless you subscribe to our channel.
I think I did.
No, that's too bad. Well, then you just go to your subscribers and look at it. Should be pretty easy to find.
I don't really know how to use YouTube.
Good job,
that
way
much.
to go. Thanks for admitting that to everybody.
Oh, you're right. It was a minute 5. Where the fuck did I
A
get
minute 5? Yeah, it was a minute 5. It was a very short podcast. Hi, welcome to the 2 Guys Talking podcast. All right, bye. Okay, we did it.
Oh, you know what I meant.
All right, we did it. All right.
Alrighty. So, anything else you want to touch on?
No, we're good. I'm done making fun of you. I'm sorry. This was a make fun of Jesse episode. Episode
that's
3
okay.
was make Jesse feel bad about his life episode.
Yeah, it's all right.
I apologize.
It happens, man.
I'm a bad person.
Yeah,
All right, now to watch my wrestling, right, and feel bad about myself.
Yes, as you should.
Why I sit here and most likely eat ice cream out of a Ben & Jerry's pint, which I will eat all of.
What flavor?
I got 2 in there right now. I got the Tonight Show one.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Is that one of those chips in it?
It has like potato chips.
Yeah, there's one
No.
that has potato chips in it.
No, because I would never buy that.
Okay, good.
This one
Because
has.
it sounded kind of gross.
This one has peanut butter cookie pieces and chocolate chunks and marshmallow and brownie chunks. It's delicious.
It's fucking amazing.
It's delicious. Yeah. And then I also have half baked because of course you have half baked. Why would you?
Yeah.
If you ever go out, look, I'm going to say this right now. If you ever go out with the intention of buying Ben & Jerry's ice cream and you don't get half baked, you can't be my friend. Like you're not a person.
Half baked, man.
It's the only thing, and yes, that's the joke, right? But it's hilarious. It's so good.
It is pretty good.
It's so
Yeah.
good. You're not a good person, and you can't be my friend if you don't like half baked. Right?
I do.
You just can't.
I try and expand every so often. But that's always my fallback.
Yeah, that's your fallback. Well, you know what? Fish food's a good fallback too.
Too sweet.
You don't like fish food
Too much. Too much
too
going
rich?
on. There's like marshmallow and caramel and the fish and
How do you say caramel?
there's caramel.
You say caramel.
Caramel.
Is it caramel? I don't want to. You know what?
All right, so I'll
We'll
either say
get-
caramel or caramel.
This is something I've gotten into with plenty of people, including my
Okay.
wife included. I believe it's caramel.
I'm sorry, what?
Caramel.
Just CARMEL?
Yeah.
But
Not
there's-
caramel.
There's A though.
Yeah, but that's a silent A. Much like in jihad, the G is silent. Oh, wait.
I don't think that really works out, man. Well, hashtag welcome to the network.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes,
Hopefully
indeed.
we'll have episode 4 coming up here in a week.
Probably not.
I'm sure we will.
Podcast is broken up.
The podcast is
quit.
broken up because of the caramel thing.
Listen to my one guy talking
About caramel.
caramel.
Hashtag caramel. All right. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week. We should probably start like picking topics ahead of time. Like, it'd be nice
Yeah.
just to end an episode
Yeah.
with next week's topic will be Thundercats. And then, we go
There
into
you have it,
Thundercats.
folks. Next week's topic, we're going to be talking about Thundercats.
Thundercats.
The old one, the reboot. Should there be a live-action movie? Who is Snarf?
These are questions that we will answer on next week's podcast.
See, that's what we could end. See how professional that sounds?
That does sound really
and
professional.
now what we're ending with is just, again, nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, we need to tighten this up a little bit, I think.
We do.
You know?
Okay. Does Mark Maron have a sign-off? 'Cause I know, like, Nerdist has the enjoy your burrito thing, although I'm not a huge... I understand that.
I mean, it's been a while since I listened to one of his podcasts. I
Yeah.
liked it, but it's been like a year or two. You know?
Jeez.
Since I listened to one of his podcasts. He's old, man. He's had podcasts for a while.
He does, yeah.
Anyway, hashtag welcome to the network. Spread this around your social medias. Let everybody know that Two Guys Talking on the Sloppdawg Podcast Network is a thing.
Yes.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your little bitty babies, make them listen to it. Force this down people's throats.
They can't understand language.
It doesn't matter. Make them listen to the whole hour and 10 minutes of this of us talking. Force them to do it. This is how they learn English.
Yeah.
This is a good way for somebody who doesn't know English to learn English.
Second
Yeah,
language.
just have them listen to it. Because right now we have 3 episodes
ESL.
totaling over 3 hours.
Yeah.
If you can't
got
learn
time.
if you can't learn English in 3 hours from us talking, you're not going to learn it.
We guarantee you 100% that you can learn English in 3 hours.
In 3 hours.
Or your money
on
back.
YouTube, or all of your money that you spent on YouTube back.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening. Hashtag welcome to the network. America, America, America. America.
America.
America.
Yeah.
Hashtag welcome to the network.
Yes, indeed.
I'm trying to find the button to press stop.